Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Just a few seconds, actually, before 7 a.m. We welcome you in live, T Green, another edition here on WG Sports Radio 550, and also streaming on our T Green platforms at T2G Buffalo. We're live at Niagara Falls Country Club here in Lewiston, where the sun is trying to come out. And we've had a nice morning here so far, setting up. Brian Colsey, along with PGA Pro Jeff Meadis. And we'll be joined a little bit later on the show by Kevin Sylvester, Evan DePasquale producing back in our Amherst studio. So it's Porter Cup week here. Jeff, we're excited to be here. Good morning.
It's always great. A little bit of buzz around the club. You see the tents up and the tournament prep, and I was just reading through the list of the participants. It's always fun to see those names and what kind of great players we're going to get here this week. And a little misty this morning. Going to be a little bit of a smoke show out there today, this weekend, but still fun to be playing golf.
That's right. So it's the 66th edition of the Porter Cup, and we're going to be previewing it here in just a few moments. Janelle DeGregorio going to be joining us, and as well as the golf pro here at Niagara Falls Country Club, JP Bedard. So they'll be coming up, and we'll talk a little bit about the event. We're here every year to preview it, and then we'll be back here next week in front of the final round to get everybody ready for it. And it's a great annual event here in Western New York. Later in the show, 7:30, we're going to have a man that is feeling pretty good about his golf game right now. Anthony Del Sante, who's joined us a few other times throughout the years. Great Western New York amateur golfer, is now the New York State men's amateur champion, Jeff.
Yeah, he won it in a marathon 4-hole playoff. It looked, they had car headlights up there on the 18th green. Memorable, great win. He's a super, super good player. I tell a lot of people about him. You know, there's not a lot of like tour quality talent that comes out of Western New York or anywhere really, but he's definitely on the cusp there, and we'll be rooting for him. Plus, he's such a good kid.
Yeah. And Anthony's going to participate in the Porter Cup this week. So
yep, he used to work here. Yeah, he'll know the place a little bit.
Yeah. He knows the course.
And he's the New York State amateur champ. He's got to be feeling, like you said, pretty confident about his game coming in.
With that win, Anthony now also is exempt to play in the U.S. Amateur, which is the biggest amateur tournament in the country.
And it's at the Olympic Club, one of the greatest golf courses in the country. Yeah, great. And it's coming up shortly. Great. I mean, just think how cool something like that can change your life. You know what I mean? A win like the New York State Am. Now he's exempt into this. Now he's got all these points. He's trying to become a professional player, and that was a big step for him. And I'm super happy for him. Glad to be talking to him.
Yeah. So we'll have him coming up at 7:30, and then our, of course, check of what's happening around the pro tours. We'll bring in Kevin Sylvester, of course, part of our T Degree team in the third segment, and we'll look ahead also. This week's the Scottish Open on the PGA Tour, but next week, the final major of the year, the Open Championship. It'll be at Royal Portrush in Ireland.
So I can work on my cheesy Irish accent all week and say Padraig Harrington. But, you know, it's that time of year where you see the different styles of golf, and that's what I like about Western New York is the seasonality. You know, we don't get to play in the winter, but we got places like Golf Coaches. We can hit balls, but you play in the spring, and then as it gets to summer, it gets hotter and drier, and then you watch the Open Championship and watch them play the ball low and the wind and the weather, and it's just it's great it's a great event, and I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah. And we'll kind of feature our Western New York PGA tip of the week later, with you, Jeff, about talking about maybe some of the shots that we'll see these players hit at the Scottish Open, hit at the Open Championship, how they have to be creative around the green. So we'll have that coming up here.
Creative's the word right there.
So anyway, we're excited to be here, talk Porter Cup, and we'll be talking to a few guests coming up in just one moment. In fact, we're getting one lined up right now, so we'll have that coming for you. Again, this is a 66th edition, the 12th year that the women are also involved, and we are going to bring in Janelle DeGregorio this morning, one of the tournament directors. Janelle, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
We're great. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So we're on to edition 66 and 12 for the ladies as well. And this is now, the third year that they've been coinciding during the same week, correct?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
How do you guys feel that since you've put them together on the same week that's gone? Because that's still very unique that to have an amateur tournament where both the men and the women are playing at the same time.
It is. It definitely is. I think it's gone really well. I think that, obviously we have all the siblings. I think that's like the story that we always talk about. The Webbers, Tarkneys, they're coming with both the men and the women. I think it's gone very, very well. I think that the women really like it because I think it's elevated, the field, I think, so to speak. But I think overall it's gone well for the course, it's gone well for the membership of the club. And I think for the overall tournament, it's been something that I think both sides have really liked because of the caliber of the field has gone up, and it's been a good experience.
And what's your role? I know your role, but explain it to people. Yeah, it sounds super easy.
Yeah, it's very easy.
Very easy.
So as one of the tournament directors, we're responsible, Marty and I are responsible for a few things. We do a lot of the recruitment. We do a lot of the setup, the planning. We work with JP obviously to make sure that the course is set up correctly. We do a lot. I mean, it's a year-long job. We always say it's volunteer, obviously, but we work year-long to make sure that the tournament is going off without a hitch. So it's great. It's very rewarding, I will say that.
Tell us a little bit about the field that'll be coming on the women's side.
Yeah, the women's side is great. Obviously we have Kendall Todd coming back. Abby Shute, she just qualified for the USAM, which is great. They're both from Arkansas. We have Pepperdine coming back, which is really great for us. I think we've been trying and been making a concerted effort to get some of those colleges back in the field. So they're coming back. Natalie Wasik, who is local, I believe she's 13.
Jeez.
Yeah, she's coming this year. So, I think the women's field is very strong. It is a smaller field, but I think overall we've done a great job of recruiting and getting some of the the best players in the country here.
So the winner and the two runner-ups are all back, right?
Yes.
On the ladies' side.
They are Nicole Gall, who's playing really, really good golf right now, and Amelie Fung. So they're all coming back.
When are you going to play?
Never. Never.
So can you take us a little behind the scenes of the recruiting process? Because there obviously are logistics that you have to set up, and the players themselves, they love the fact that they're getting invited to these tournaments, but there's other amateur tournaments throughout the country now, throughout the world. So I guess, how do you say, hey, this is the Porter Cup's the right spot for you to play this week?
Right. So we're obviously up against the Western on the women's side, which is in, I believe, Michigan this year. So that's, obviously a very established tournament as well. But from the recruiting side, I mean, we talk to Team Canada, the coaches, all the time. I have a really good relationship with the women's coaches on Team Canada. So you'll see some of that, Ella Weber, Nicole Gall, obviously coming back. And Ella Weber, actually, she was the runner-up 2 years ago, or 2 or 3 years ago. She just transferred to Purdue. So, we have a good relationship with Team Canada. So we talk to them quite often. And then from, it's just talking to coaches, getting those relationships. Actually, the coach from Purdue, women's coach, he played here back in the day.
Oh, in the Porter Cup or just at the club?
He
Porter
played
Cup?
In the Porter Cup. Yeah.
Nice.
So him and I were chatting about that. So there's a lot of connections that we make that help the recruiting process.
And don't you think the community around the club and how they make the event fun, like we always talk about people being billeted and the parties and the dinners and the family interaction and going to see Niagara Falls and playing a good course, all those things help recruiting, don't they?
Yeah, I was looking at one of the tournaments the other day, and they don't have any events for the kids. And I was kind of like, that's something that we really pride ourselves on. We have the Players Dinner, we have the Porter Cup Bash that we open up to them. Actually, I was talking to the club staff yesterday about bringing out cornhole and things like that, so they have stuff to do during the bash. Housing. We just really try to take care of the kids and make it a good experience for them.
I know on Tuesday we were here for Porter Cup Media Day, and Marty Schimmel spoke about that. He said that he hopes that, I thought it was a really good question. He's like, how does the Porter Cup make itself unique and different from all these other amateur? It seems like there's amateur tournaments all over the place. And I think he said there's 11 amateur tournaments within this 2-week span. So I mean, there's opportunities for players, good players to go play all over the place. And what's the selling point for the Porter Cup? And that was what Marty brought up really well. He said he feels like this is something that was, using the word sell, I guess maybe isn't the right word, but I'll use it. Like, you're trying to sell something even just beyond the golf, right?
Yeah. And I think the former, tournament directors, when you look at them, I see Bob Travis is wandering around somewhere, but they did a really good job of making sure that parents felt comfortable sending their kids here. I think that was the thing. It was very much a family atmosphere. And we still try to continue that. I think times have changed, obviously, quite a bit since that, but we still try to continue that. And, the kids, I mean, I talk to some of them year round, just about random stuff, so it's definitely, you form those relationships, you get those kids back, they talk about the tournament, and it just makes it really great.
Janelle, also too, with the challenges maybe of today of there being more options, also maybe from your aspect of learning about them and maybe trying to figure out, hey, is this the right player for us kind of thing. I guess it's probably gets easier every year because there's more exposure, there's more social media, there's more live scoring from tournaments here and there, live video here and there. So like to be able to see maybe who you're trying to recruit also maybe could help.
Yeah, and I think, obviously we're bringing him back of the range this year, which is, going to create a lot of exposure for us.
Explain that.
So back of the range, it's actually a really, really cool setup. So basically they come in and they run the social media. They do all the photography. They do a lot of interviews with the kids. But they're very well known in the world of amateur golf. So Michael Boss actually found them and brought to us several months ago, and it was a no-brainer. I mean, he'll be here all week. He's excited to go to the different events and see what that's all about. So it's just a really cool way to get a lot of exposure. I mean, we've done it right now with Instagram, and we're already seeing results from it.
Instagram.
What's
this Instagram?
I know.
We're streaming live on Instagram right now, Jeff. I know.
Yeah, so it's really, really cool. So we're bringing him in. He'll be here Monday to get all set up. He's already done some stuff right now. So I think it's a way to just get more exposure in the amateur golf world. And, he's a known commodity. He just did the Transmiss. So yeah, he'll be here all next week.
Why is it important to the club to keep doing it year after year? I mean, this is
a good question.
This is year 66 overall, and obviously, as the women's tournament now has become established 12 years now. Like, why is it important? This is a lot of work and a lot of effort. And let's face it, in Western New York, you don't get to golf for 52 weeks of the year. So for the members to give up their course for a week, like, why do you guys still do it?
I think it's exciting for the members. I think, over the past few years, especially having somebody like John Daly in the field, you're looking at, we're bringing back Anthony Delasanti and Garrett Rank and these known commodities with the Niagara Falls Country Club. And now Kendall Todd. These are people that the membership really, really enjoys seeing play. They bring their kids out. Today we have the last chance qualifier for the members. So we're going to, one member is going to make it in. So we try to make it very fun for the membership. Make it interactive. Obviously the housing, a lot of them really look forward to that every year. So I think it's just, the history of it. When I talk about it, you talk about the days when Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods and Brooks Koepka played here. So I think it's just keeping that tradition alive, and they really, really enjoy it.
Yeah, you can sense the pride in your voices, and I meet a lot of members from Niagara Falls, and they all beam about the event. Yeah. You can tell people care, and they just try to make it the greatest event that it can be.
Even looking at the PGA Tour today, you look like Bo Hostler and Keith Mitchell, they all came through here. These are people that are like, going in the top 10 in these, major PGA tournaments, and it's exciting to see. I just saw Russell Henley at an event a couple of months ago, and he remembered me. He was raving about the Porter Cup. He was telling Sepp Straka about it and just how great the tournament was. And he played here for 5 years. And so I think it's, even when you run into these, these guys later on in their career, they still talk about it.
Yeah, and you mentioned Tiger and Phil, monster names of Hall of Fame golfers, but even more recently, Denny McCarthy, a former winner, who's maybe Jeff known for being one of the best putters on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, I think he's definitely known for that. Yeah.
Maybe if not known for being the best putter on the PGA Tour. He's played in it. Justin Thomas has played in it. Ricky Fowler has played in it. You mentioned Brooks Koepka. So, beyond some of these players that may be turning into stars, we know there's already a lot of established big name players that have been there.
And that's why I tell everybody, like I gave a lesson last night, they live up there. Hey, we got to go check that out. She's just getting into golf. Go watch the women play at the Porter Cup.
Well, Brooke Henderson came through here. She won the tournament.
She's kind of a good player.
Yeah.
This golfing worked out okay for her.
We even look at some of the girls that have come through recently, like Brooke Rivers. She turned pro. Katie Cranston is probably going to turn pro soon, I would say, after this season. These are players that are going to be on the tour, and they're going to be out there. And I honestly think it's good for, young women to come out as well. I think that's something that we kind of miss in the world of amateur golf a little bit, but I think with the combining the two tournaments, I think we've seen an influx of younger women coming out to see it.
Well, I think we've seen an influx in women's golf. Would you agree? I've been doing this for in the last 5 years or so. I feel like there's way more women starting to get into golf since the pandemic. You play, obviously, so it's I think it's a great thing, and
it is.
And the swings and the athleticism and the games that they have are incomparable, and that's why I love watching these people play. It's exciting week. I'm getting excited to talk about it. Just
know.
yeah.
You have 2 daughters, Jeff. I know too. Like, I mean, if you feel like they're into golf or they've gone with you to hit, like to bring them up here, they can get so close to the players. Like, I think that's a great experience.
Yeah, and they love it. I mean, they think it's cool, and they were at the PGA Championship, and they like being around the golfers. They don't get to play as much as they'd like to because they live in big cities, and it's hard to get out in Boston and Seattle. But they love the game, and it's something they started young. They can take 10 years off and then pick the game up again, and the game's still there. They still have the basic swing, and they can have more fun, as they get older and play for the next 30 years, hopefully.
All right, Janelle, we just mentioned about bringing people up. Can you go over some of the logistics about if people want to attend this week? What's the details and just how to get up here and where to go and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so Niagara Falls Country Club, Wednesday through Saturday. Tee times will start at 7:30. I think we're starting with the women because they play faster on Wednesday.
It's true.
Yeah, it is true. And then Saturday for the championship round, we will alternate men and women, as we go down to the tee time. So the last group of women will go off right before the last men. But yeah, Wednesday through Saturday, we'll have the boys club parking lot set up for everybody. Also, over here in the Niagara Falls Country Club parking lot. But yeah, it's going to be a great tournament. I recommend coming out. We'll have, some of the best players in amateur golf, and Anthony Del Santi coming off the win the New York State Exam. Very excited to have him back in the fold. So, some local guys, Ryan Edel. So yeah, definitely would love it if people came out and watched.
Yeah, Ryan was the runner-up last year.
Yes.
We know Ryan. It's exciting to see local players competing at this level too. Yeah, because for years and years, you wouldn't have a local player be able to compete.
Other than Fred Silver. Yeah.
Fred Silver. Yeah. And Ben Reichert.
Yeah, Ben Reichert. Ben Reichert won several years ago. Yeah.
So, but it's nice to see the local players stepping up a level in competition and succeeding.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You're going to be a busy girl this week, aren't you?
Yes, very busy. It's starting in a little bit.
Yeah. A few days off of work, maybe working.
I did take the week off of work. Yes. So I know I always say it's like not really a vacation, but it's a lot of fun.
That's why they have PTO. That's right. Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah.
Well, good luck this week, Janelle. I wish you good weather. We know that's a piece that we always are hoping for as well.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Thanks for everything you do. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Janelle De Gregorio with us, one of the Porter Cup directors, joining us here live at Niagara Falls Country Club. Okay. We're going to bring in JP Bedard here in just one moment as we'll swap out guests. Appreciate it again, Janelle. Good luck this week. So, yeah, I think, this is a week where having your sons or your daughters come up, I think is really, really important. I value it. I brought my son Jack up when he was a little bit younger as he kind of got the golf itch. And now we're going to bring in another guest, JP Bedard, the head golf professional here. JP, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fantastic.
You guys ready to go for this tournament for next week?
Yes, we are.
How many of these you been around, JP?
This will be number 13.
13.
Yep.
Yeah, you've seen this show a couple times, huh?
Yes, I have.
And it's just starting to ramp up this week, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's been ramping up.
It has been. Big shot in the arm with Anthony Del Santi winning the New York State Am.
Mm-hmm.
I think the crowds are going to be really big this year.
Yeah, it's fun to have a local boy who's got a real chance and might be one of the favorites because he's a high-end college player first and foremost, and winning the New York State Am is he's got to be coming in. And plus, you guys know him. He worked in the big room, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Great kid. He's a super human. Like, he's super nice, great young gentleman, and the kid puts in so much practice. If somebody doesn't make it, and after watching that, I tell somebody to get another job. Because honestly, I haven't seen a junior and a college athlete put in that much practice time, especially on the greens. So,
well, that's what it takes. Yeah, and you want to get to the highest level of golf. I always tell people to be a tour player is like being an Olympic athlete. The way you have to train, the amount of time, the year round, the diet, the gym, everything. And then the interesting thing you mentioned, the short game. All the amateurs, they go out to the range and they hit their driver 800 times, and Anthony's hitting 800 chips. Yeah, so that's the difference.
Yes, absolutely. It's I tell my juniors, you have to be a short game magician. Learn how to chip and putt, then everything will take care of itself.
Yeah, that's one thing I feel like, when people come to both of you, hey, how do I improve my score or whatever? And ultimately, I feel like I'm overhearing these conversations of like, I feel like I could get 10 more yards with this, or if I get a new driver or what. And then But I know, Jeff, you always say it. It's instantly around the green is where you can clean up strokes really quick.
Yeah, ideally, if you taught the person the game, you'd start them with 2-footers, and then you'd work your way back to 10-footers.
Isn't that what
30-footers?
they said Earl Woods did with Tiger? That he started on the green and then worked backwards, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how else? I mean, that's the essence of the game. Everybody wants to rip drivers like Anthony or the tour players and stuff like that. But the good players, there's a difference. So you can watch. You go to a tournament, and you watch 80 guys hit golf balls. You can't tell who's going to win that week because they all swing and hit it great. But the guys who's chipping and putting, or the girl who's chipping and putting well that week, typically is the person that's going to end up winning.
Absolutely. I tell all my kids, I said, my lessons, even if I start teaching a lesson, the first thing, even if it's a driver, show me how you pitch a 30-yard pitch shot.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a mini golf swing. You got to learn how to pitch it because you can miss a fairway. What do you got to do? You got to lay up. Got to pitch the ball.
Yeah, so. Kids don't lay up. People don't lay up like they used to. Yeah, proximity to the hole, right? We learned that a few years ago, and now everybody's bashing. But it's still fun, and you're going to have some bashers here this week.
That's the biggest change I've noticed. Like I said, I caddied for Taylor Pendrith my first year here, and he was one of the few players that could take it over 11 bunker and over the creek on 13.
So how far of a carry is that for people who've never been here?
I want to say you're carrying it 290.
Okay, wow. So you could just blast.
Yeah.
And there was only 10 guys in the field. Now, everybody. There might be a few kids that can't get it over. And it's unbelievable the change in the last 12 years.
It was interesting. We had Dudley Hart on last year, tour player and his son's playing again this year. And we were talking about, we said when him and I were kids, we talked about being good from 100 yards in because that was your wedges. Now it's 130 yards in, because now everybody's hitting it so much further. And that's where the good players do spend the majority of their time.
So JP, I know you're involved in maybe the course setup as well here in the tournament prep. So with that being said, obviously, you guys just can't build new tees every 2, 3, 4 years to deal with this length. But I think this is not just a Niagara Falls thing. This is everybody across the country here. The tournament itself, it's not like it's shattering records, though, every year. So what do you guys do as a course setup to maybe make it challenging where maybe, hey, this bunker that is in play for all of us every single day that maybe won't be for this tournament or something, or the creek that maybe guys are just going to drive over? Like, how do you guys think about setting that up?
Or
does it matter even, I guess?
No, it doesn't because, the golf course is pretty much designed for the member play.
Yeah.
You're not going to go and, like I said, a lot of courses, when a tour event comes, they get all that money in. Now they can go and extend and everything else. And people don't realize that we are par 70. So our 6,900 yards is technically
a little bit longer.
7,200 yards. We're playing in par 72. So our par 3s are what protects this golf course from soaring.
I think your green complexes too, because the way the greens get fast and the areas around the green can be difficult, and you've got some difficult sloping greens here that are, 18 is a prime example. Trying to get up and down from 18 to save a par there can be a little bit scary.
Yeah, this the last 13 on, you can't be above the hole.
Yeah.
14's still slopey, but 15, 16, 17, 18. It's a difficult up and down. And
I like seeing the good scores. It's par 70. Yeah. I don't mind. I was college coach. I coached at Niagara for years, and I always liked when the course was set up so people want to watch you make birdies, and you want to showcase the talent of these young men and women when they come out here, and they do blast. But yeah, it's whoever's pitching and putting that week. They all hit it far. They all hit it good. Who can get it in the hole, right? That's all that matters.
Yeah, what separates here is our par 3s. Like number 4, statistically, every year, it's one of the hardest holes. I think it's our top third, like the third hardest hole.
Yeah,
and
I believe it. I think it's a really hard par 3.
It's a hard par 3. Like I said, the green complexes, but they're well bunkered, and the rough is really thick around the greens, and so getting up and down, it's a chore. You got to be doing your homework.
And I know we mention it every year, but it's worth mentioning again. Tiger Woods had a hole-in-one on the 12th here on par 3.
Which is a tough little wedge shot in there, too. Yeah, it's a shorter hole, but it's so small landing areas everywhere. Like, you got to land it within 5 yards of your spot or it's trouble.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I guess I would say for those that are coming up, JP, how do you suggest they spectate? What's a good way to go? Or is there a certain area that you think is great for people to come up and watch?
I tell everybody, if you come across the street, just make a right. That's our par 3 or our par 5, number 13. You want to hang out around 7, 6, that area so you can watch holes number 3, the shots coming into the par 5. You can see the tee shot of number 4, par 3. You can see the iron shots coming into 6. You can see them hit their tee shot on 7, another par 3. Walk over 100 yards, and you got number 12, number 11, number 13. Great area. And then the next best area everybody looks at is 15, 16.
15, yep.
It's a great
15 green.
because you have 15 green, you have 16 tee and 17 tee together. So on the weekends, that's a pretty busy spot also.
And that 15 hole is the one that they can drive over the creek. So you could ideally even, not only are you going to have a lot of birdie putts, but maybe even eagle putts.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of action
Exactly,
there.
get
And that par 3 there, then the tee shots, that's a long par 3 with very sloping green. That's where you can see Toronto on a nice day.
Yes.
And then 17 is one of the most difficult holes here with OB left and right. So they got a roast to drive right down middle.
It's a pressure packed shot. I mean, down the stretch, if you are still in contention and you've got no room for error on 17 because it's tight on both sides.
That's when you rely on your pre-shot routine. Yes, that would be a little nerve-wracking with the lead teeing it up on 17.
Or the golfing gods and you hit one in the tree and
Comes back in.
Maybe comes back in.
Ben Reichert.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes you get lucky.
Hey, you gotta have them.
Yeah.
All the golf bounces that we think go our bad way, we always forget the good ones too.
Yes,
sometimes.
we do. Yes,
Those
we
don't
do.
count, right?
No, we focus on the negative and let it ruin our day. Yes.
We have a famous one. It's called a Lucky Chucky.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah.
So JP, the event now, we were talking to Jill about this, for the third year in a row now, has combined the men and the women, and that seems to be very successful. I think though that everybody that I ask from the club here seems to be thinking like this was the right move.
Absolutely. Now the women play 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Before it was a 3-round event. It was in early June, and you just never knew how the weather was. Usually they got pretty good weather, but I just think having them both here, they get the same feel. The club now has to prepare for one big event, housing, everything else. It's just combined. It's just been wonderful experience, and I'm really glad that we pushed through and combined them.
Awesome. All right, what's the pitch to our listeners to come out and watch this week?
Pray for good weather all week. But no, you're going to come and see some great golf. And I tell my students, I said, pay attention to their swings. Just don't watch ball flight. Look at their swings, because impact is so important. But just watching their swings, because people misinterpret a lot of teachings and that stuff. And I just say, just watch swings and see how they go through the golf ball. So, but yeah, you have a lot of different swings, but a lot of great swings, and we have a good field.
Yeah. Super pumped for that. Well, I wish you guys good weather. You got a pick for the Open Championship for next week?
Nope.
The not a gambling in. Yeah, it's hard to pick. It's a tough one.
The Open's a tough one to pick.
Yeah, they're all tough to pick.
It is.
No, but I agree with the Open, because you do get some of the DP World Tour players that are involved that are used to playing that link style all year, JP.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
we always get a handful of names that we're like, oh, I remember this guy, and he's been playing links courses all year, and especially if weather gets more involved. That seems to
we don't know a lot of these players because they're not playing on our tour.
Yeah,
so we don't follow them. So it doesn't mean
thing.
they're not great players. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't see that. So
what a great week for golf next week. Come up and watch the Porter Cup all week, and then
come over Friday night, do the Duster Challenge.
That's
after
right.
The
We got our
Cup. Yep.
By the way, thank you, JP.
You're
I know
welcome, guys.
Niagara Falls, one of our courses that are going to donate a foursome. Hey, if you haven't signed up for the Duster, we've got almost 90 signed up. We can cap it at 108. So we're going to have that next Friday. So JP, thank you so much again. Good luck with the tournament this week. JP Bedard, the head golf professional here at Niagara Falls Country Club. And yeah, before we go to break here, our Duster Challenge, the 9th edition is back, and we're a week away. Next Friday night at Glen Oak, 6 o'clock. If you haven't signed up yet, easiest way to do it, go to the top of my Twitter page, at BrianWGR. The link's pinned. It's the top tweet. It's pinned right there. The link's also at the top there in my bio. It's a $49 donation. You get into the event, and you get the putting contest. You get dinner from Peter Gourmet. We drinks from Michelob Ultra, and you get a chance to get into prizes, raffles, including maybe a foursome here at Niagara Falls Country Club. If you've thought of playing here, we're going to raffle that off as well.
And it helps helping our Patriots everywhere. That's what it raises money for. And if you're thinking about signing up, sign up. Like get on, click on it today, because it will sell out.
Yeah,
so,
it's going to be. As soon as we hit 108, we're closing.
We're done, and it happens. It's going to happen
every year. Yep.
So yeah, the sooner you sign up, grab a buddy, grab somebody and head on over.
That's right. Duster Challenge Friday night, July 18th at Glen Oak. Again, go to the top of my Twitter page at Brian WGR and sign up. Okay, great segment there. Thanks to Janelle and JP for joining us. Their preview of the Porter Cup. Will we come back? A player that's participating who had a great week, Anthony DeLasanti, the new New York State men's amateur champion, going to join us live on the phone when we return here on Tee to Green. We're live just outside the pro shop here, beautiful Lewiston, New York, Niagara Falls Country Club. The sun is out. Going to be a great day for golf here across Western New York. We appreciate you being with us here. Evan DePasquale producing back in our Amherst studios. PGA Pro Jeff Meadis with me. I'm Brian Coleshiel. More Tee to Green coming up from Niagara Falls Country Club as we preview the Porter Cup right here on WGR. Evan, can you fill one more? Can you jump another? How much time do I have left? I'm sorry. Can you play one more? I got to get Anthony on the phone here. Having trouble here. Jeff, I might use your phone if that's all right. Can you get me in? I have Anthony's number. Just can you get me in so I can dial Anthony's number? Yeah. It's all right. Damn it, I can't. It doesn't have roadcaster either. It's all right. Ugh. Yes, please. One more.
I can find the roadcaster.
You can. You have
Like
a Bluetooth.
Bluetooth, I can.
Yeah, I couldn't find it there. Do you see
Oh,
it? I couldn't find
other
it.
devices. Let's see.
That's what I'm trying to get so that we can get. See, like mine's searching.
The Bluetooth's on, right?
Oh, maybe that's why.
There we go.
See if that does it. Yep, I got it. All right, give me
Okay.
one more, and then I should have it. Okay.
If you can,
Tip of the week coming back. I might say, hey Jeff, let's talk about bump and run. You can just go while I get
Okay.
Anthony going here. If I can get this going. Otherwise, oh, connected. Okay, perfect. Let me call Anthony.
Yep.
Yes, please.
I can do the comeback if you're.
Hey, Anthony and Brian, are you ready to go?
And welcome back. This is Heated Green, and we are live at Niagara Falls Country Club, preparing ourselves for the Porter Cup next week. And the tip of the week this week, well, we're going to get to it in a little bit, and because we got one of the finest players in to come through Western New York in a long time, someone I've been rooting for on the air with us, and Anthony Delasante, who's just coming off winning the New York State Amateur, and is going to come here and try to kick a little butt at the Porter Cup next week, is on the line with us. Welcome, Anthony. Thanks for coming on with us this morning.
Appreciate it, guys. How we doing?
We're great. Anthony, we're at a spot that I know you wouldn't know really well. We're at Niagara Falls Country Club here previewing the Porter Cup, which you'll be next week. But yeah, you know this place pretty well. I know we're going to talk about the men's amateur here in 1 second, but you're familiar with this course.
Yeah, I am. I got a pretty good little home course advantage next week, which will be fun. But it's just like any other golf tournament. Just got to prepare well and just go out there and play my game, see what happens. So we'll see what the weather brings. I obviously got a little bit of inside information. Our greens could get a little firm if it doesn't rain, but you never know what happens. So it'll be a fun week as usual. Porter Cup and looking forward to competing again this year.
And do you miss being in the bag room at about 5:30 in the morning, getting clubs ready and wiping down carts?
Every once in a while, I do. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So I know I'll be back in that bag room in a couple of weeks here, so it'll be fun. Yep.
That's awesome. Well, Anthony, we're excited to have you come on to help us preview the Porter Cup, but boy, it was you coming on to join us is enhanced by what you did this week. So congratulations that you are now the 2025 New York State Men's Amateur Champion. And how about how you did it here? Not only through 4 rounds, but then 4 playoff holes, including the last one essentially in the dark. Can you give everybody a little insight of just kind of how the final day played out? It's what, 36 holes, then plus the 4, and it was dark and the weather delay. Tell everybody how that final day played out for you.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how some of these final round days have gone for me the last couple of years. It's crazy how they end up working out for sure. But yeah, the New York State Men's Am is it's kind of a staple for them. It's a 36 hole final day after their cut to the I think the top 40 in ties. Everyone plays 36 holes in that final round, so it's a grind of a day. And obviously, I'm pretty used to it playing college golf. I'd say 80% of our college events are 36 on the first day and then 18 on the final day. So 36 whole days are nothing new to me, but yeah, this one was a little different. We teed off at about 8:40 a.m. and played the third round pretty quickly, and then went back out for the final round at about 2:20, I believe, and then had a little delay. I got to my ninth hole of the round, and just a huge storm came through, and the golf course got soaked for a while. It only rained for probably 35, 40 minutes, but it took them a little bit just to go squeegee some greens. And yeah, we ended up getting back out there at about 5:45, 6 o'clock, and still had 9 holes to play. So we finished up those 9 holes, and then knew I had a playoff coming, and luckily we were able to just squeeze it in at the waning hours of daylight. It was pretty dark out there, but luckily the NYSGA they did a great job getting some minivans around the green and put some light on the green for us, which is pretty cool.
It's like a tin cup moment with the headlights on the green there.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Anthony, so I was watching the live. There was a live stream of it, so I'm watching you guys play, and the person who was running the camera after you guys played the third playoff hole says, "Oh, looks like we'll be coming back tomorrow." What happened in between those 2 playoff holes? Did you? And is it John Hiller was the other player?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you guys talk them out of stopping, or like how did that play out to the fact that you just kept playing us in essentially dark conditions?
Yep. So Andrew right away, Andrew Hickey, the operations director of the NYSGA, just said, guys, we'll probably call it here. And I just said to John, I was like, Andrew said, we're going to come back in the morning. And I said to John, I was like, if you want to, if you're totally okay with it, because I'm 100%, I want to try to play one more, because it wasn't super, super dark to where we couldn't hit, say a short iron shot on a par 3. And I was like, we're pretty close to hole number 7. If you want to play that par 3, I'm totally okay with it. Even if there wasn't any light on the green, that was just the NYSGA thinking quickly and like, let's go get some cars and bring them up to the green, and then we're good to go.
Was number 7 on the rotation, or did you guys amend that plan and go to number 7?
Yeah, we just figured, we probably can't play a par 4 here because we will not be able to see a tee shot. And then I knew, like, all right, there's enough people up there that'll be watching us. Hopefully they'll be able to hear the ball hit or be able to find it. So, but no, yeah, I just kind of came up with that. I was like, let's just go to 7 if you're okay with it. I don't want to talk you into anything if you don't want to, but let's see if we could play number 7. And John agreed, and Andrew said, you know what, let's keep going. And yeah, it was pretty cool. There were a bunch of members out there, and everyone was just going crazy once we said we're going to play one more. So it was a pretty cool moment. But
that is awesome.
But yeah, it was awesome.
Anthony Delisante with us here. Of course, he's going to be a part of the Porter Cup this week, but now the 2025 New York State Men's Amateur Champion that ended up winning this week. And Anthony, with this win, you now are exempt in getting into the U.S. Amateurs. So what's your plan here for the next month or so? I know there was a Corn Ferry event that maybe you were going to play. Like, how does this play out with amateur and all that sort of stuff? The U.S. Amateur coming up. Like, what is your plan here for the next month?
Yeah, for sure. It's been a very fluid summer, just kind of trying to take it week by week and to see what comes my way. But I've had a Corn Ferry Tour exemption through the Elite Amateur Golf Series last summer. They got me into the NV5 Invitational, which is up in Chicago, and I'll leave for that the day after the Porter Cup finishes, just to get out there early, get some preparation in. And I'll be an amateur for that one now that I'm qualified for the USAM. I wasn't sure I couldn't turn pro for it if I want to, but I'll definitely stay amateur now since I locked up a US amateur spot. So we'll play the NV5 Invitational right after the Porter Cup, and then stay out there in Chicago for the Western Amateur, which is at Skokie Country Club, which I'm really looking forward to. And then, then I'll have about a week off, and then head out to San Francisco to Olympic Club for the USAM, and that'll be my last amateur event, most likely. I'll still stay amateur, but I won't have any amateur events to play in because I won't be going back to college, which will be a little weird. But yeah, so I'll be right after the USAM. Will be a good preparation, couple weeks for Q school.
Awesome.
So yeah,
where's Q school for you?
It'll be all over the place. I still haven't registered yet, so I gotta just kind of figure out what sites are gonna work the best. And there's obviously a little bit of strategy in that as well. So just got a lot of great insight on that already, and definitely looking forward to that as well. But just gotta put one foot for the other, and really excited for Porter Cup this week.
Anthony, real quick, I don't want to take for granted that maybe somebody's listening that maybe doesn't know your connection to West New York background here. We mentioned, you being a part of working here at Niagara Falls Country Club, but maybe can you just give everybody, listeners for maybe that are hearing about you for the first time this week, just a little bit about your growing up here in Western New York and even just your golf path?
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Just um, huge family. I grew up in Niagara County my entire life. And went to Niagara Wheatfield High School. Played high school golf at Niagara Wheatfield since sixth grade for Mr. Tim Codd, and his son Olin this past week was on the bag for me this week, and that was pretty fun with him. And then ended up attended Valparaiso University out in Indiana, and played a pretty fun 4 years out there, and then so just kind of practicing right now, a little bit at Niagara Falls, a little bit at Craigburn, and so I think I don't know if that's what you're looking for. That's pretty good.
That was perfect.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Is it the Olympic Club of Donald Ross, like Onondagas?
It's a good. I think Onondagas was a Walter Travis, actually, not a Donald Ross.
I played there. It was. It's a beautiful golf course. Yeah, it's a tough golf course.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
it was awesome. It was. I'd never been out there, and I heard there used to be a ton of trees out there, super tree lined. Couldn't see holes. The holes were just locked in by trees, and it was unbelievable. It was kind of like a little mix of Craigburn and East Aurora, in my opinion. Just not as many trees as East Aurora, but a lot of the rolling hills like East Aurora. Just a lot of the Craigburn heather, though. It was awesome.
Very cool. Well, Anthony, what a great week for you. Congratulations. I know you've got a lot of people supporting you here in Western New York, and including us here at Tee to Green, where we've been excited to follow your path. And good luck this week at the Porter Cup. We'll see you here during the event.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too. All right. Awesome. Anthony Delasante with us here on Tee to Green, the 2025 New York State Men's Amateur Champion.
Pretty cool put that on your mantle. Yeah.
And that gets him into the biggest amateur tournament. Is that in the world, even the US Amateur?
Oh, yes. There's no doubt. I mean, there's majors and amateurs but that is if you pick one amateur event to win in your life, it's definitely the US Amateur. Yep. Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations, Anthony. Very, very cool that he's able to do that. Come out and watch him this week. He'll be up here. Portercup.com, by the way, for tee times when they get those out and pairings, then you can see when Anthony's going to be playing. Our tip of the week, Jeff. We're going to be watching the Open Championship too on TV at Royal Port Rush. We're going to see a lot of bump and run shots likely here. The link style courses. There's bumps and valleys and hills and little, kind of just little bunkers and things to bump around with. Not as much height action maybe around the green. How do you hit some of these bump and run shots? What should I be thinking about?
Well, we talked earlier, the key word is going to be creativity, right? So what you'll notice is a lot of amateurs, they get a shot and all they do is hit it high and hit their wedge and just try to flop it out or whatever. And the best players in the world are being creative, and there's several ways to hit a bump and run. Typically, you're going to find your favorite club, 6 iron nowadays probably doesn't have enough loft, but a 7 iron or something like that, you want to put it back in your stance a little bit. I like to raise the heel of the club up so that it doesn't grab. We want to kind of catch it slightly, maybe a little bit towards the toe, because if you're hitting a little soft, you don't want it to jump off the hot spot on the center of the face. So I move it back. I choke up a little bit like a putting stroke and get the ball back in my stance, get the toe of the club on the ground, and make more like a putting stroke, but softer and longer. And it's always a good idea just to walk up to the hole, visualize how it's going to get there. Where is it going to land? How is it going to bounce on that first bounce? Which way is it going to read it like a putt? So don't just hit it up at the pin. Read it like a putt and envision trying to make it. But the key is to get the ball low and get the ball just off the grass and get it rolling. Nothing rolls like a ball, but don't make a hard shot or an easy shot hard by trying to hit it up in the air. You're almost always better. There's an old saying, you get it on the green as fast as you can instead of flying it to the hole. So that's the idea. You might want to get it on the ground as fast as you can. And it's a great shot to have in your bag. If you haven't practiced it, go out to an area where you can hit some bump and shot. Because sometimes you got to hit it over that crown of the hill, and a flop just won't stop in time. But if you learn to control your trajectory, if you can't control how high you're hitting it, you can't control how far you're hitting it. So practice controlling your trajectory. Go to the side of the hill. See, you want to hit it in a certain spot. the hill and then have it trickle over. Practice that once or twice and watch what that adds to your game and watch how that can save you shots around the green. Just learning one of the simplest shots in golf.
And remember, an obscure champion of the Open, Todd Hamilton, using his hybrid to bump around the green.
And it's a great idea because a hybrid has that wide sole, and it won't grab like an iron will. It's got a little bit of bounce. Same thing if you had like a 5-wood or a 7-wood, if you were more comfortable with that. The problem there is it starts to get a little too long, so it gets a little gangly to chip and roll with. Where a hybrid, you still got enough a lie angle that's steep enough that you can kind of get in there and catch it and roll it up there. But go around a green. If you're going near round this morning, grab a couple balls, throw them off to the side, and try to roll them up onto the green instead of pitching them onto the green, and learn to hit them low and get them rolling and watch how effective it is.
All right, good advice there from Jeff, our Western or PGA tip of the week, brought to you by the Western or PGA, which has one goal: promoting and growing the game of golf today, tomorrow, and beyond. Hey, before we go to break here, I want to congratulate our Fantasy League winners, our Tee to Green Fantasy League winners for the month of June. Matt Gisella got first place for the month of June. He gets a stay-and-play VIP package courtesy of Batavia Downs Gaming and Hotel. He gets a night in the hotel. He gets money for the gaming floor at the casino and restaurant credit. So congratulations to Matt. And second place, DJ Chapman. Congratulations, DJ. He and a guest will get 18 holes in a cart at Glen Oak, which is where we'll be for our Duster Challenge coming up on Friday, July 18th. All right, when we come back, Kevin Sylvester going to join us. We'll do our whip around the Pro Tours, PGA Tour, Champions Tour, LPGA Tour, and we'll get our picks officially on the record for the Open Championship.
You're going to want to listen to that.
For sure.
Yes.
We're here previewing the 66th edition of the Porter Cup live here in Lewiston at Niagara Falls Country Club with PGA Pro Jeff Meadis. I'm Brian Koziel, Evan DePasquale producing back in our Amherst studios. Thanks for listening. Tee to Green here on WGR and streaming live at T2G below. Evan, I got your text. That's fine. We obviously didn't start that segment, so it worked.
Hey, Kev, you ready to go? All right, I'll put you on hold.
Yes, I'll do PGA. Going to do Champions. I'll come back to me for LPGA. Welcome back, T Green here at Niagara Falls Country Club as we're previewing the 66th edition of the Porter Cup, and it is time for a check of what's happening around the Pro Tours, and our PGA Tour report this week sends us to the Scottish Open, the Genesis Scottish Open. Chris Gotterup is your leader right now as they are starting round 3 this morning as we speak. He has got a 2-shot lead at 11 under par over Harry Hall. Matt Fitzpatrick Harry Hall is at -9. Matthew Fitzpatrick is at -8. Also, Ludwig Oberg is at -8. Rory McIlroy in contention, trying to win for the second time in 2 years at this event. He's tied for 6th at -7. Xander Schauffele is at -6.
And the Champions Report is brought to you by Donald Ross Sportswear, your hometown premium golf apparel company. Find us in your local pro shop or online at donaldross.com. This week's an event you could go down and check out. It's the new Dick's Open Championship at Enjoy, which is in the Southern Tier. And it's led right now by Stephen Allen, and he's at 9 under par.
All right. Good stuff there. And our LPGA report now, brought to you by Puma Golf Shoes. The Avion Championship going on, and a 4-way tie at the top. Kara Gaynor, Cassandra Alexander, Grace Kim, and Sumi Lee are all at -10 as they go into the weekend, one of the bigger tournaments of the year for the LPGA. All right. So we are here live at Niagara Falls Country Club. Brian Colzio, PGA Pro Jeff Meadus, and we're now going to bring in Kevin Sylvester here from our Tee to Green team. Kevin, good morning. Oh, hold on.
Sorry, Kevin.
All right, Kevin. Sorry. Doing everything here. Hey, Kevin, good morning.
Morning. I've got a couple of things to. Number one, I want to hire Janelle as my agent. She was awesome. Nice job earlier. Number two, if you're going down the championship tour in Endicott, go on my buddy John Rout. He's making his debut this week in the Champions Tour. He is tied for 31st right now, 2 under par. So root him on if you're going down there. Just cheer for the Rocket. And Jeff, I got a question for you. Well, how come on Tuesday in a practice round, I can have everything together, play my best golf, and then 27 holes on Friday, absolutely awful? Tell me how that happened.
There's pressure on you in the tournament round. That's why, Kevin. Those scores actually count. Yeah. So
yeah, maybe because I look at the score and see all the dots I'm giving up. Maybe that.
I thought. Yeah. Well, you ended up doing okay.
No, we are completely out of it. We got two matches today. I don't even know why we showed up. I'm just firing flags for skins today. That's it.
Well, tournaments need people like you. Yeah, donators, we call them.
Definitely doing that this year.
That's great. Hey, Kevin, let's spend our few minutes here together previewing the Open next week. It's at Royal Portrush, which is hosting for the 3rd time. They hosted in 1951. Then, after a renovation, they brought it back in 2019. It's the only site outside of Great Britain that has hosted the Open Championship. Shane Lowry, of course, won it in 2019. Kevin, he's had a pretty good year, but, should we think about him winning this week? McIlroy's playing well this week. We know him, Lowry, the Irishman here going back. They're going to have some huge galleries following them. The odds would say Scotty Scheffler's still on top in terms of the odds. He's a 4-1 favorite to win. DeChambeau 9-1 and Rahm 12-1 after McIlroy. They're the 3rd and the 4th favorite, and then Xander Schauffele is the 5th favorite on the betting odds here. So what are you looking at as we go into the Open next week?
Well, it's interesting. I was thinking a lot about this because, Rory McIlroy missed the cut last time. Remember, he was distraught in 2019, right? And this is a course that many cite as their favorite golf course in the world. And, he's certainly motivated. And I think the reset, I want to say Rory. I really do. For some reason, and I'm looking at this week and I'm like, he just made the cut, this player. He's not playing great today. But for some reason, I want to say Bob McIntyre. I don't know. Because I just feel like the Open Championship would be just like Shane Lowry came out of nowhere, really, to win it. I don't want to say out of nowhere, but nobody's picking Shane Lowry in 2019.
Right.
And I just think that, look what Brian Harmon did many moons ago. Schauffele last year was playing fabulous golf. He won the PGA, so that really wasn't a surprise. But I just think that the Open Championship lends itself to good players that maybe not the best in the world coming through. And I just love how gritty Robert McIntyre is. We saw what he did at the Open Championship. So for some reason, I'm going with Bob McIntyre.
All right. I'll follow your line of thinking. A player that maybe we don't think about winning majors. In fact, he obviously still is looking for his first PGA Tour win, but Tommy Fleetwood still is playing well. He knows how to play these link style courses, obviously, with his background. And I think he would be a great story and a fan favorite there if he was in contention. So I agree with you. I mean, these names at the top, like how do you pick against McIlroy or Scheffler at this point, who's playing well this week? By the way, Scheffler's -5 this week. Oberg's playing well. But I don't know. I feel like Tommy Fleetwood, he got the bad break with not finishing his tournament a few weeks ago when Keegan Bradley slipped in, and the replay of his putt on 18 hitting a little maybe ball mark, and so I'm going to be rooting for Tommy Fleetwood this week, and I'll go ahead and make him my pick.
Can real quick, I was there. I walked 3 rounds of Tommy Fleetwood, and the pressure absolutely got to him 100%. And I'm not even talking about 18.
Yeah.
It was there the entire round. You could just feel it. I could see it. See it in his body language, and I just hope he learned from that because he's a good dude. But he only hit one good shot, a good pro shot all day long, and then he missed a 6-footer. Would put him up 3. I think put it away, and that's what the greats do. They put it away when they can, and I think he knew it. And man, I'd love to see it happen, Brian. Really would. Yeah. I just have my doubts, having seen it in person.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Rory. I hate picking, the favorite, and I love picking Rory, but I just think in Ireland, it's just so important to him, and he's remotivated. He's had a little bit of a down spell since the Masters, and he's playing well this week, so he's got too much talent and too much motivation for me not to pick him next week.
Yeah. All right. So there we go. Thoughts will be obviously here next week at Niagara Falls Country Club, not only talking about the Port Cup, but we'll be on for 2 hours next week, 7 to 9, talking about the Open at Royal Park Roark. Great TV next week. And set your alarm. It's going to be early.
It's the best.
Yeah, it really is. Kevin, I know you know Niagara Falls Country Club well here. I'll let you close the show here. What's your 2 cents of advice for these Porter Cup players that are going to be here starting on Wednesday?
Oh, you know what? Practice your bunker shots, and you're going to be in a bunker inevitably, particularly par 3s. They're so well protected. If you can avoid putting in a bunker, I think that'd means you're striking the ball incredibly. They all drive it well. I heard the discussion earlier with JP. Yeah, it is around the greens for sure, especially at that golf club. And I would just work on the bunker play. And by the way, awesome for Anthony Delasanti. I mean, how cool is that? That kid's a stud. Looking forward to seeing what his career happens. What do you think of his career?
Stud is the right word. He's the best talent coming out of this area in a long time.
I agree.
Kevin, it'd be so amazing to call his win on the PGA Tour radio. That would be amazing.
That would be cool. Yeah.
I agree. Kevin, thanks so much. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, Duster next week too, boys.
That's right.
That's right. Friday night.
We'll be there. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it. All right. Kevin Sylvester with us here on Tee to Green as we wrap things up. Again, Wednesday, the event starts here at the Porter Cup. Wednesday through Saturday. Admission is free. PorterCup.com for tee times to see when your favorite golfer's coming out.
And click on your Twitter account right now and sign up for the Duster before you get closed out.
Yep. At Brian WGR. Go to the top of my Twitter page there and sign up for the Duster. So we hope to see you at the Duster on Friday. Maybe we'll see you up here at the Porter Cup this week. And we'll be back here on WGR and on our live stream at T2G Buffalo next Saturday at 7.
And if you don't have Twitter, Western New York PGA, you can sign up through their website.
Yep, WNIPGA.com. Thanks to everybody here at Niagara Falls Country Club. Janelle DeGregorio for joining us, tournament director, JP Bedard, the head pro, Marty Schimmel, the media chairman, one of the tournament directors who takes care of us all the time, Anthony Delasanti, Kevin Sylvester, Jeff Blank, Evan DePasquale, for PGA Pro Jeff Meadis, I'm Brian Colziel. Thanks for listening. Tee to Green. Enjoy your weekend, everybody, right here on WGR.